Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia this afternoon. We did recently see an upgraded hail risk for today, so that storm risk was upgraded from a level 1 to a level 2, and all of that because of the hail potential this afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center saying the main hazard today is large hail. Tracking to the south tomorrow, so this line of storms will continue to track down to the south into Florida for tomorrow and Saturday. Now, the main risk with this will be your strong wind gusts, so if we're looking for a day to get hail, today's the day. As we head into the end of the forecast, I'm going to talk about March, and I'm going to go into next week, and I'm going to talk about how we have several rounds of storms likely next week, and I'll show you exactly where to expect those storms as well. That's what I've been working on this morning, is what does March look like? Now let's go to today. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves quite yet. This evening into the late night hours, what we're watching for here is a line of storms, some of those going severe, so isolated severe risk here. Your biggest hazards, strong wind is possible, but really that big hazard is going to be hail for today, so significant that the Storm Prediction Center upgraded the risk from a level 1 to a level 2 for hail today. Tomorrow, we move down to the south where that main risk will be wind tomorrow and then into Florida by Saturday. So that's what the end of this week looks like, the end of February. We've got a few storms moving in here, but we have more storms for March. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the last 24 hours. Tuesday was pretty quiet. However, Wednesday had more storms, and by more storms, I mean like one. If you go up to Nebraska and North Platte, that's where we saw our only storm that produced severe weather yesterday. It was mainly a wind event. We had tons of wind reports here, but I think we did get some small hail with this as well, just in the North Platte area. And then after that storm went through North Platte, it started to weaken as it moved into Kansas. We got some rain through the overnight hours, but now we shift our attention farther down to the south where we see Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia getting that rain right now. And we'll check on Atlanta here in just a few minutes. I want to go to your current conditions at the moment. You can see where most of the activity is, down in the southeast, where we're getting moderate to heavy rain right now, all across the southeast and out to the East Coast. Let's go through some of these areas here. Ooh, who's watching today? We have 2 FCE. What's March and April looking like for Northwest Arkansas? If we can see that far out. Yeah, we're going to take a look at March here in just a few minutes. I want to get through today and tomorrow first, but then we're going to take a look at March. We're going to see exactly what you can expect, at least for that first or second week of March. But right now, we've got showers moving across the southeast. Let's actually right now take a look at Atlanta. I want to take a look at Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like out there. We're going to take a look at our Department of Transportation cameras. We're going to see if we can get a video on here. Here we go. All right, we've got some wet roadways right now. Cars are moving through pretty fine at the moment. However, I have seen some low visibility. Every now and then we get a heavy rain, a pocket of heavy rain from these storms, this line of storms, and then you start to see traffic slow down. So we can see that the road, it's got a little bit of a shine on it, indicating that it's definitely wet out there. Let's go to one other camera, and then we'll go back to the forecast here. Let's take a look at this camera, which is definitely showing a lot more traffic. We may have a stalled car in the middle of the road as well, so obviously we don't know if that's weather related, but if it is weather related, we still have rain coming down in this area. So if it is weather related here, obviously you have to get out. You have to get out in that weather, make sure that you have a rain jacket, make sure that you have an umbrella today, because we're going to see rain for a good portion of the day in Atlanta. All right, let's go back to the forecast here. I want to show you your rain right now. There's your heavy rain coming down in Atlanta, Georgia right now. That's where you just saw that car stalled out on the highway. We've got rain that'll come down over the next hour or two, maybe on and off at times through the evening hours. But what we're really watching for is farther back to the west, anywhere from Louisiana to Mississippi to Alabama. That's your hail risk today, okay? So that's where we're going to be watching for the most significant storms later on this afternoon and evening. Current temperatures, pretty nice out there. 67 in Oklahoma City, 73 in Dallas, 56 in KC and 55 in Denver. It's February. I'm definitely not complaining about these numbers. It's pretty nice. We've had a lot of people here at Hail Trace going for walks today, enjoying that nice weather. Other people are dealing with some high winds today. We still have some red flag warnings out there where we've got dry conditions and high wind speeds causing that fire danger. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any relief from this fire danger anytime soon. We have to wait till next week to get rain in this area, and that goes into the storms that I'm going to tell you about here in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at today's severe weather risks though, because I told you about that upgrade, that level 2 upgrade. It's a slight risk according to the Storm Prediction Center. Why is that? Well, your main hazard here is large hail. For hail today, I put up to about ping pong ball size hail. I went back and forth, ping pong to golf ball size hail, somewhere right in there, and I'll tell you why. This map right here shows that we could see some larger hail today. Anytime that we get those yellows and those oranges on the board starts to tell us that we could get up to at least ping pong, if not golf ball size hail. So let's look at this one more time. Okay, 2 o'clock this afternoon, so give it another hour or two. We start to see those yellows pop in, even some oranges on there. There's your large hail. But what about the storms? Where are the storms at this time of day? We've got 2 lines here. We've got one that's moving through Jackson all the way through the central portion of Alabama. We've got another one that's going to be a little bit more isolated farther up to the north. So we've got 2 areas that I'm watching for storms today, but really that main hail risk right here where you saw highlighted in yellow and orange. Your hail risk goes down significantly after the sun sets, so by about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, we'll see those hail sizes go down. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about your hail forecast, because if you couldn't tell by your hail model, you've got some areas that are going to see larger hail than others. Where is that at? Jackson to Greenwood to Oxford, anywhere from ping pong to golf ball size hail in these areas. What about the risk? Because isolated storms farther up to the north will mean that you're not going to see a ton of hail up here, but better chances down to the south in places like Greenwood and Jackson, where we've got more storms, scattered storms. They're more numerous in these areas. So we've got a really good chance in Greenwood and Jackson today, that level 2 chance there indicated by these yellow indicators. And then as you head farther to the south later on, as these storms continue to dip to the south in the evening hours, that's whenever that hail risk starts to go down. Birmingham, Alabama, we've got a low risk for maybe up to quarter size hail today. Again, your max hail size, I was right in between. Should I go ping pong? Should I go golf ball? I went ahead and went ping pong ball size hail today. If we squeeze out a golf ball or two, don't be surprised. Hey, I guess, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes meteorologists are wrong, right? Did you know that? Anyway, let's move on. Ping pong to golf ball size hail today. Let's talk about your timeline here. We have ongoing showers and storms right now. However, nothing severe at the moment. We are watching for some very, very minor ponding in the Atlanta area at the moment. We have seen some stallouts on the roadways. We've seen some slowdowns for traffic, but for the most part, we're not worried too much about that rain that's coming through Atlanta. You'll see on and off rain for now, but what we're really watching for are some of these more isolated storms that will develop later on this afternoon. Anytime after about 3 o'clock this afternoon is whenever we'll watch for more storms that could go severe very quickly and then continue as they track down to the south through the evening hours. After the sun goes down, that severe risk goes down as well. So we're talking about 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. We see that severe risk decrease. However, storms are ongoing. They may not be severe. However, they're ongoing as they track farther down to the south, producing heavy rain through the overnight hours, lightning and thunder, obviously also possible with these storms as we head into early Friday morning. Friday, we continue to see storms and heavy rain moving down to the south through our far southern southeastern states. Say that 5 times fast. And then Florida, we'll see those storms on Saturday. There you go. There's your timeline. Any weather questions before we move on here? We will talk about March. We'll talk about next week because we have several chances for storms next week. 7 to 10 day forecast for Dallas. Yeah, we'll take a look at next week for Dallas as well. Any more weather questions? All right, just a little recap. Thoughts on Omaha in the next few weeks. Omaha probably Pretty low chance for storms next week. Dallas will have a better chance for storms, but I'll take a look at that here in just a few minutes. I'm going to do a little recap of what we just talked about. Level 2 risk for hail today. Hail will be your main hazard today. Storms tomorrow could produce some strong wind gusts, but I'm not too worried about that severe risk tomorrow or Saturday. Moving on, and actually I want to go back to this real quick. Look at this. As we head into early next week, so we're going to zoom out here. We're going to go into Monday and Tuesday. We get a good soaker across Oklahoma, eastern Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, even getting some snow moving into the Midwest. A lot of rainfall moving in early next week. Not too worried about the severe risk right now. What I'm really watching for is next Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. That's whenever we have another chance for rain. Here's your first chance for severe weather. Here we are, Wednesday at 1 o'clock. It looks like we've got a soaker coming out of St. Louis, right through central Missouri. Again, Omaha just on the northern edge of this, and you're going to see that trend quite often next week, just on the northern edge of these storm systems. It's going to be to the south of Omaha. Dallas trying to get in on this action. However, the better chance for storms here, take a look at this. We've got a nice dry line setting up late next week, so Thursday, Friday time frame. That's when we're expecting that next significant chance for severe weather. I'm pretty impressed with this dry line setup right here. That's whenever we bring Oklahoma and Texas in on the action. I know we had a question about Dallas. Keep an eye on the end of next week. Now, we're still several days out from this, so timeline could change. But the main point that I'm trying to make here is that we see an increased likelihood for severe weather multiple times next week. It's bringing some much needed rain. We absolutely need rain in these areas, but it's also bringing that spring-like severe weather. And perfect timing too, right? Because it's the beginning of March. March 1st is meteorological spring. So spring has hit and March got the memo. We are seeing storms next week. All right, let's go ahead and talk about your temperatures, and then we're going to go back to that storm risk in March. We're going to kind of go back and forth here. So it's pretty warm right now. Obviously, you felt that outside. It's going to be warm tomorrow. Colder air moving in by this weekend, but it doesn't stay long. It warms back up next week, and that's going to help to fuel storms. I'm not going to go over temperatures too much here because I do want to move on to that severe weather risk. Are you ready for it? Warm temperatures last into the first week of March. What you're looking at here is March 3rd through the 7th. Temperatures are likely to be above average, warmer than normal for this time of the year. For everyone across the U.S. except for Maine, some of our New England states. We've got a handful of New England states up here that'll be about average, and Alaska is cooler than average. Everyone else is above average for temperatures. Now, here's the important thing. We need that moisture, and here it is. We've got a good likelihood for moisture between the 3rd and the 7th. Look at this rain that's coming in anywhere from the western side of Texas where we need it the most because of that fire concern, all the way up the Missouri Valley. You've got some heavy rainfall likely in this area right here from Oklahoma City or just east of Oklahoma City all the way up to Chicago. Heavy rain in these areas. What about your storms? Because heavy rain doesn't always equal severe activity. Let's take a look at it. Your severe risk will be mainly anywhere from Kansas City into the western side of Oklahoma. I'm including Oklahoma City in this risk here, especially that dry line that sets up later next week. The west side of Texas, west central Texas here, and then I'm including Dallas in this risk as well. And again, this is March 5th through the 11th. So we're looking at the middle to late next week and into next weekend. We're still quite a ways away from this. We're about 10 days away from this event. Things could change between now and then, but we're seeing repeated signatures of severe weather in these areas. So I wanted you guys to be the first to know about this severe weather risk. I'm going to pause right here. If we have any extra questions on severe weather, I want to just make sure that we're not missing anything. We feel good? Good to move on? Alrighty. Let's do it then. So again, make sure that you're staying up to date on your forecasts. We have over 15 meteorologists here at Hail Trace that will be watching this for you. Next week, I'll be in and out a little bit, so I've got some Mets that are gonna help to fill in, and they're very, very smart. They're gonna do a great job with this forecast. We, of course, will have multiple eyes on this. Hey, if you like forecasts like this, don't miss our Raising Hail Tour. Our Raising Hail Tour ends next Tuesday. March 3rd, perfect timing because we've got storms moving in. Derek is going to break down not just March, but March and April and May and June. What are we expecting for severe weather this year? He has your forecast, the Raising Hail Tour. You can get tickets still at raising-hail-tour.com. Head to that website. If you need a discount code or if you want a discount code, DM us and I can give you a discount code. Raising-hail-tour.com. We've got Atlas, Daily in Black, Letter Labs, all coming to speak. QXO is coming to speak also, so they're wanting to get you ready for severe weather season. And hey, make sure that you follow us on all forms of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We will be posting more about this severe weather risk over the next few days. Whether I'm here or not, that social media stays very active. Give us a call at 855-334-4245. Go ahead and get your hail, your wind, your tornado maps today. So when those storms hit, you know how to use the app. You're prepared. You can get out there and get to those areas that were hit by storms. Email us for more info at hailtrace.com or head over to our website, hailtrace.com. Hey, thanks for joining us and also happy Thursday. We appreciate your comments. One more question. Yeah, we have one more question? Okay. Chris is asking, do you think the La Nina El Nino shift is happening a lot earlier than you previously forecasted at the Raising Hail event? So this is a great question. What Chris is talking about is that we noticed, and the Climate Prediction Center noticed that we're seeing a shift from La Nina to El Nino. Right now, we're about in that neutral phase, but if we can see that swing to El Nino, that often indicates a lot more activity during the spring and a lot more severe events. I'm not seeing too much of a change from what we've presented already. I haven't updated too much with the Climate Prediction Center. However, they issue new forecasts, I think every other week, every week. So I'll take a look at that and I'll see if there's any big changes, Chris, and I'll let you know. That's a great question. All right, thanks for joining us today. We will be back with a forecast tomorrow as well. If we see anything significant on Saturday, you know I'll be on live and I'll talk to you guys on Saturday as well. But until then, make sure you follow us on all forms of social media. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, tomorrow.